Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. You don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. Most people are waiting for their life to change, not realizing their life is quietly being built or destroyed by what they do every single day. You see, the walls of failure are not made of one big mistake. They are built one small compromise at a time. And success? It's not a lottery ticket. It's a lifestyle. The question is not, will you succeed? The real question is, can you build the kind of habits that make success inevitable? Because you don't get what you wish for. You get what you prepare for. And preparation, me friendies, a habit. Let me tell you something. I learned early, on dreams are wonderful. They paint the picture. They show you what's possible. But dreams without discipline, that's just fantasy. You see, the soil of ambition is fertile, but it's discipline that brings in the harvest. Discipline is the daily decision to do what's necessary, not just what's convenient. You don't need dramatic change overnight. You need consistent effort, day in and day out. When I was a young man, I had the dream of becoming financially independent. But I also had a habit of sleeping in, avoiding hard work, and spending more than I earned. That dream didn't stand a chance until I got honest with myself. I had to become the kind of man who could build a bridge brick by brick. I started small. I read one book, then I read another. I changed how I spent my mornings. I kept a journal. I made phone calls I didn't feel like making. I saved when it would have been easier to spend. And little by little, the bridge formed from who I was to who I wanted to become. Discipline is not punishment, it's refinement. It's the sharpening stone of character. And the beautiful part, it multiplies. A little discipline in one area begins to touch every other area. Discipline with your money brings clarity. Discipline with your time brings opportunity. Discipline with your thoughts brings peace. You want to change your life? Don't wait for the mood to strike. The mood doesn't build the bridge, discipline does. And you don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. Every day you do the thing you said you would do, you strengthen the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And one day, you'll cross it. When I was first learning about success, I heard something that struck me right between the eyes. Either you run your day, or it runs you. And let me tell you, for a long time, my day ran me. I woke up without a plan, responded to whatever came my way, and by the end of it, I felt exhausted but accomplished very little. That's not a recipe for success. That's how you survive, not how you thrive. See, life has a way of filling your time with the urgent instead of the important. If you don't deliberately design your day, someone else will. The phone rings, the inbox fills, the world wants your attention, but your goals, they sit quietly in the corner waiting for you to remember them, and that's the tragedy for most people. They spend their life reacting instead of creating. The solution? Run your day like a business. Treat your calendar like a blueprint. I used to take a Sunday evening and ask myself, what results do I want this week? What actions are required? What's non-negotiable? Then I'd schedule those first. Calls, study time, exercise, wealth-building activities. They all went in the book before the noise could fill the cracks. That's how you reclaim power. You don't need to micromanage every minute, but you do need structure. Discipline with time is respect for your potential. Don't wake up and wait to see what the day brings. Decide what you will bring to the day. Your goals deserve to be prioritized, not squeezed into leftovers. And remember, a day well run becomes a week well lived. A week becomes a month becomes a year. That's how you build a life worth remembering one intentional day at a time. I used to think that if I just stayed busy, if I filled every hour, every minute, every moment, success would catch up with me. But I learned quickly, movement is not achievement. Busyness is not productivity. You can run fast in the wrong direction, and all you'll have to show for it is exhaustion. What changed everything for me was understanding the power of focus. Focus is the great accelerator. When your energy is concentrated, your efforts compound. You don't need 10 tasks a day to prove you're making progress. What you need is one meaningful task done with absolute intention. I remember a season in my life where I was spinning plates projects, meetings, calls, travel, and it felt important. But the truth, I was scattering my power. One day I asked myself a simple question. What would happen if I just chose the one thing that moves the needle and I gave it my undivided attention? So I tried it. I carved out 90 minutes each morning, no distractions, no phone, no emails, just focused, deep work. The results? They multiplied. Because when you're locked in, you don't just work faster, you work smarter and with fewer mistakes. Think of a magnifying glass. In normal light, it does nothing. But when the sunlight is focused through it, it can start a fire. Your mind works the same way. Focus turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Most people don't fail because they don't try hard. They fail because they try everything at once. Don't scatter your seeds. Plant them deeply where it counts and water them with focused attention. You want to accelerate your results? Then simplify your actions. Choose less, but better. Do fewer things, but do them with more intensity. That's not laziness. That's intelligence. Let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. You can't outwork poor energy. You can have the best strategy in the world, the most ambitious goals written on your wall, but if your body is tired, if your mind is foggy, if your spirit is drained, you won't get far. Energy is not just physical stamina. It's mental clarity. It's emotional resilience. It's the fuel that powers your habits. And if you're running on empty, even the best plans fall flat. There was a time when I was trying to push through sheer willpower. Long days, late nights, poor meals, too much coffee, not enough rest. I looked busy, but deep down I was scattered. I realized I had mistaken fatigue for productivity. And so I made a decision not just to manage my time better, but to manage my energy like a leader. I started waking up earlier, not just to get more done, but to center myself before the noise of the world kicked in. I drank more water. I cleaned up my meals. I walked more. I created space to breathe, to reflect, to unplug. The result? I didn't just feel better, I performed better. My thinking became sharper. My mood lifted. My patience grew. That's the hidden secret no one talks about. Energy is self-leadership. You cannot lead a big life with a broken system inside. The body, the mind, the spirit, they are not separate, they are one integrated machine. If one lags, the whole vehicle slows down. Success is not about going 100 miles an hour every day. It's about knowing when to drive, when to rest, and how to fuel the engine that gets you there. You don't need more hours. You need more quality in the ones you already have. Many people think success means going full throttle all the time, pushing harder, longer, faster. But I've learned the opposite is often true. Real strength, real growth, comes from knowing when to step back, when to pause and recover. Just like you don't build muscle by lifting weights nonstop, you grow stronger by giving your body time to rest between sets. Your mind and spirit need the same care. Recovery is not a distraction or a sign of weakness. It is a discipline, a deliberate part of your success strategy. In my own life, I remember times when I kept grinding without pause. I thought that if I stopped for even a moment, I'd lose momentum. But what really happened was I lost clarity, focus, and joy. Burnout crept in quietly, then hit hard. I realized success isn't a sprint, it's a rhythm. There are moments to push with everything you have, and there are moments to pull back, to recharge, and prepare for what's next. This kind of recovery isn't about idleness or procrastination. It's about intentional renewal. It might look like a walk outside, a few minutes of meditation, reading a good book, or simply unplugging from screens. These moments of recovery create space for your nervous system to calm, your thoughts to clear, and your energy to rebuild. Without this rhythm, you burn out, your results suffer, and your enthusiasm wanes. You must learn to treat recovery as a core habit just as important as your work. When you do, your performance doesn't just sustain, it accelerates. You build resilience, longevity, and a consistency that outlasts fleeting bursts of effort. Success is not about working harder every minute, but about managing the cycle of effort and rest with intention. That's the true discipline of champions. Emotions have a way of sweeping us up, pulling us into storms we didn't plan to sail. I've seen people with incredible talent and vision lose their way simply because they let a moment of frustration or anger steer their decisions. The truth is, emotions are powerful. They signal what matters deeply to us, but if left unchecked, they can become our undoing. Mastering your emotions is not about shutting them down or pretending they don't exist. It's about learning to pause, to breathe, and to respond with intention rather than reacting impulsively. That pause is the moment where strength is born. I recall times in my own journey when pressure mounted, deadlines loomed, and setbacks tested my patience. Without emotional control, I made choices. I regretted words spoken in haste, actions taken from frustration. But when I learned to create a space between stimulus and response, everything shifted. In that space, I found clarity. I could weigh my options, stay anchored in my purpose, and act from a place of wisdom, not reaction. This ability to regulate your emotions builds resilience. It stops the cycle of destructive behavior, slash-outs, avoidance, or giving up that so often sabotage progress. When you master your emotional landscape, you become the calm in the storm, the steady hand that guides through chaos. You lead your life rather than being led by your moods. This mastery deepens your relationships, sharpens your decision-making, and preserves your focus on the long game. Remember, the greatest leaders, the most successful people, are not those who never feel, but those who feel deeply and choose wisely. The real power lies not in the absence of emotion, but in the command of it. Master your emotions, or they will master you. Confidence isn't born from empty words or loud declarations. It's forged quietly, behind the scenes, through the simple act of keeping promises to yourself. When you say you're going to wake up early and you do it, when you commit to reading a few pages every day and follow through, your mind takes notice. This isn't just about discipline. It's about building trust in the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. I've met many people who have brilliant ideas and strong intentions, but struggle to follow through. They set goals, they dream big, but when it comes time to act consistently, the promises they make to themselves fall apart. This erodes confidence faster than any external failure ever could, because it sends a message to your subconscious that your word isn't reliable. And once your mind doubts you, every other effort feels like climbing a mountain without gear. Building self-trust is like building a muscle. You don't lift the heaviest weight on your first day. You start small, you repeat, and you strengthen. Maybe it's committing to a daily habit so manageable it feels almost effortless. But each time you follow through, you send a powerful message. I am someone who does what I say. And over time, those small wins stack up to create an unshakable foundation of belief. This belief is the soil where confidence grows, the fertile ground where success takes root. Without it, no amount of motivation or strategy can carry you through the tough days. With it, you become unstoppable, not because life is easy, but because you know you can trust yourself to keep moving forward no matter what. Self-trust is built one promise at a time, and every promise kept is a victory worth celebrating. People often chase success like it's some distant prize waiting just out of reach, but the truth is, success isn't something you hunt down, it's something you attract by who you become. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. This is a profound shift in thinking that changes everything. Your daily habits, your thoughts, the way you carry yourself, these small things, build your identity over time. I've seen it in my own life and in countless others. When I began to invest in myself reading books, surrounding myself with better influences, improving my daily routines, I wasn't chasing success directly. Instead, I was becoming the kind of person who naturally draws success. It was like tuning a radio to the right frequency. Suddenly, opportunities, ideas, and people aligned. But this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience and intention, because every habit you practice is like laying a brick in the foundation of your character. You want better results? Then change your daily rituals. Show up on time, speak kindly to yourself, manage your energy. These are not just tasks, they are the essence of who you are becoming. If you want a richer life, you must become a richer person, rich in discipline, focus, and resilience. If you want to be healthier, you must become someone who honors their body daily. Your outer world will reflect the inner changes you make. So, don't chase after success. Focus on growing, improving, and evolving. Success will follow because you become the kind of person who attracts it naturally. Motivation feels powerful in the moment, like a fire burning bright, but it's fleeting. It comes and goes, often when you need it least. I've learned this the hard way, chasing bursts of inspiration only to find myself stalled when the initial spark died out. That's why motivation alone is never enough to build a lasting life of success. What truly carries you forward is the system you put in place. The daily habits, the routines, the structures that keep you moving even when you don't feel like it. Think of motivation as the fuel that can start the engine, but your system is the engine itself, steady and relentless. Without a solid system, you're at the mercy of your mood, your energy, and your circumstances. Years ago, when I was working to improve my own life, I realized that relying on motivation was like trying to sail a ship with just the wind, hoping it would always blow in my favor. Instead, I had to build a reliable rudder, steady sails, and a map-me systems that guided me regardless of weather. The truth is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Big dreams are admirable, but without a strong system to back them, they remain just dreams. Your system is what creates consistency, and consistency is what produces results. So, build systems that are simple, repeatable, and focused on your highest priorities. When motivation fades, your system will keep you on track, inch by inch, day by day, until success becomes inevitable. Greatness rarely announces itself with fireworks or grand displays. It's not born from a single moment of brilliance, but from the steady rhythm of small actions repeated day after day. I've seen this truth unfold again and again, not only in my life, but in the lives of those I've worked with. Success is not some mysterious force reserved for the lucky few. It's the natural outcome of consistently applying simple fundamentals. When I was building my life, I didn't wake up one day with overnight success. Instead, I focused on the small wins: getting up early, reading a few pages, making a thoughtful decision, showing up when it was easier to quit. These small victories, often invisible to others, stacked up over time. They created momentum, shaped my character, and laid the foundation for lasting achievement. Many people look for shortcuts or big leaps, but that's where they stumble. They overlook the power in the ordinary choices, the discipline to do what you said you would do, the patience to keep going when results are slow, the humility to learn and adjust. These are the building blocks of a future that stands the test of time. So, if you want to create a life that matters, stop waiting for a sign or a breakthrough. Begin with the small, consistent victories you can win today. Water your habits like seeds in fertile soil. Give them time and care. Success will grow naturally because it always does when you respect the power of the small things repeated relentlessly. As we come to the close of this conversation, remember this: success isn't a sudden strike of lightning. It's a steady flame fueled by your daily choices. The habits you build, the promises you keep to yourself, the way you manage your energy and emotions, they all combine to shape your future. Nothing worthwhile happens overnight, but everything worthwhile happens over time with intention and consistency. You have the power right now to take control, to stop drifting, and start leading your life. It begins with one small step, one habit locked in, one promise kept. Don't wait for motivation to find you because it's fleeting. Build systems that support your growth even when enthusiasm fades. Respect the rhythm of work and recovery. Master your emotions so they serve you, not sabotage you. Most importantly, trust yourself enough to keep your word no matter how small the commitment. So here's my challenge to you. Decide today that your habits will no longer be accidents, but deliberate choices aligned with the future you want. Take ownership of your time, your energy, and your actions. Build that bridge from dreams to results, brick by brick. When you do, success won't just happen, it will be inevitable. Start now. Your future is waiting.